There is. Okay, there it is. Guys, we were struggling. We were on struggle mode this morning trying to get this laptop to start our live. Good morning. I am Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, and the Laced Up legislator for the House of Delegates 89th Districts. Good morning, certified doers. Goodness, or maybe it's good afternoon, certified doer, or maybe it's good evening, certified. Whenever you're choosing to come and share space with us, we express gratitude. Thank you. So glad that you that you take this time out. We've got a lot, right? It was a long holiday weekend. I hope that whatever or however you chose to celebrate or not celebrate this long national holiday weekend, that it was enough to get you respite and ready to go on this Tuesday morning. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take a drink of water. I need you to do that too. We're going to start doing this together because we are flowers, right? We need to water ourselves. Come on. All right, we took a slip. At least we know we care about ourselves. I will always be outside. Some of y'all don't get outside enough, so you need to hear these bird sounds in the backyard, in the background. You need to hear that nature is a calling. So first, I'm going to start with my gratitude and community ask. So grateful this weekend. If you guys haven't saw some of the postings of the opportunities that we've had over the past week to really be in spaces and places with folks. Super honored to be at the community picnic this afternoon on Lafayette Boulevard at Authentically Me. What an amazing event. There were about seven or eight young, maybe it was less than that, men out there that all were sentenced to life in prison, life being 25 years or more, and served, I think almost all of them, maybe except for one, served at least 25 years or more. Each of them respectfully are business owners, doing well, back on their, on their feet, doing amazing things. They are exactly what redemption looks like. What it looks like when we provide a space and place for folks to, and they have a support system. That was the one thing that I heard between them, is that they not only had each other, but they had a true support system. So shout out to all of those men. I think that post went out last night, maybe, but check it out. And also patronize some of their businesses. Good morning. So there's my gratitude. Second, you guys, summer school starts this week. Did you sign up? Have you signed up for summer school? We are making a bill, right? Like, this is your opportunity to be a part of that process. Learn what it's like. Learn how to bring it forth. I'm gonna pause for a second. So you can hear sounds of neighborhood, right? What does your neighborhood sound like at 6:30 a.m.? We're going to be learning about the bill process. We're going to be creating bills. This is our policy work groups. I want to clump you together. I want you to do amazing things. I want you to be involved, right? Okay. So sign up. You can go to the website and sign up for Certified Doer Summer School, policy work group time, all of that. I have a fundraiser coming up on July 27th. This is going to be and I was just talking to a friend of mine last night about this being probably the most difficult side of the work that we have to do. On the 27th, we'll be hosting a fundraiser to start being able to collect funds to continue to do the work that we've been doing. It is an unfortunate side of politics, is that, in order to continue to work, you have to raise money. Some of the things that we're trying to do as we raise money, just being really transparent about all the things that we're trying to do. I would love to hire 1 or 2 more staff members. We want to be able to fund summer school, like really make it a thing. We're very fortunate to have community partners that help us do these sorts of things for free. We are doing the first one virtual. We want to be able to get constituent cards. I'd like to go door knocking before you know, election time and things like that, just to give you guys a understanding of what our office can or cannot do. Oftentimes people are like, I don't even know what a delegate is, and that's perfectly fine. We want to do that education piece really, really, really well. So as we fund, and also we have to prepare ourselves to have to run for office again, which will be next year, hopefully. I'll know within the next month or two whether or not I'll have to run this year. But next year, the goal is to, if we have to run, is to be prepared. So have a fundraiser. If you're not able to attend the fundraiser at the end of the month, please do not hesitate. Every little bit helps, right? Certainly don't like, as I'm going to talk about some daunting things that are happening right now, do not like asking folks for donations when you go to the store with 2 bags and they cost almost $100. When you go to the pump, and I choose my car and it's over $100 to fill up. Like, that's asking a lot. I know it is, but I know, I know that this call to service requires that I do that, and I'm going to ask you, if you can donate $1 a month, please do it. If you can donate $5, $20 a month to us, we would so appreciate it. If you can make one-time donate, like, that's it. I think it's the little hands with the buy-in that make this work all worth it. Okay, so there's that. We'll be having a community connection on July 28th. I haven't given a time or date for that. A time for that, because I'm debating whether I want that to be in person. I'm really watching the COVID numbers and things like that. But it will be July 28th, whether it's virtual or in person. Either way, you guys will know as soon as I made that decision, and it'll probably happen this week. All right? Something else my community asked that you can do for me. Have you registered to vote? Look at me. Have you updated? Did you move since the last time? Did you move since the last time we voted? Okay, then update your license and update your voter registration. Everyone needs to make sure they look at their polling place, because some of folks, especially in the city of Norfolk, your polling place has shifted. Have you checked your polling place? Do you know who represents you? And if you got the space, are you able to work the polls? Let me tell you something. Our poll workers, they're aging, y'all. They're aging, and they're aging out. And we need some fresh blood to be able to come in and work election days, right? Now that we have early voting is 45 days out. So, like, if you got the space, right? If you could take a day, the payment isn't huge. We do pay people to work, right? Not, the registrar, our city pays people to work. It ain't a big stipend, but you're adding value to the community. So if you haven't considered that, I would love for you to consider. I'll maybe be putting some posts out on how to become an election day worker. All right? Register, know your poll, who represents you, and consider working. That's my asks. And I'm going to say gratitude to you all for the work that you're doing. All right, let's get into the big stuff, right? This is a national issue, but also, like, I want to bring it back to the work that we've been trying to do in this office right now, y'all. Right now, okay? As of late Saturday night, almost 1,000 flights were scrapped, and at least it's about 8,498 delayed due to bad weather and staff shortages, right? I told y'all about this. I know I did. When we were doing Norfolk Can Fly, I said, hey, the aviation industry, we need folks, right? And it's not going to get any easier, right? We're going to be in a space where it's going to be, flying is only going to be for the privileged. We've already seen the prices of tickets go up, and the people to be able to accommodate the flights go down. We are working. That is an industry that I think is just in a beautiful space and place for us to invite people in. We had Norfolk Can Fly. We will be having an aviation day in August. I believe it's August, and I want to get the date right. It's the second or third Friday in August, and maybe the 14th. I'm not 100% sure, but you guys will see some information. Aviation Day. We want to get folks curious about aviation, because, like, the staff shortage side, that shouldn't even be a thing, right? There's some amazing careers all on the spectrum in aviation that we can be getting folks into. I would love for there to be an aviation career and technical education school here. Yeah, we're working on it. I mean, now we're working it. I know that they're working on the maintenance side, but that's a real thing. Okay. Speaking of schools, right? Virginia, in the state of Virginia, actually in Chesterfield County, there in the budget there was money to start what they call a recovery high school. That's really cool. The recovery high school is it's going to be in Chesterfield County, and it's for teenagers that have real substance abuse, right? We've seen these sorts of things across the U.S. where they've had them. They call them like sobriety highs. So it's affording an opportunity for those students who have serious substance abuse to still have the support services that they need while also getting their education. This is a nice step forward, I think. Young people end up connected to drugs for a variety of reasons, and let's I think we need to disband that myth that it's only people in impoverished neighborhoods, or that it's only that only a certain type of person ends up with with a substance abuse disorder. It's not true. It's patently false. And especially when we talk about our young people, we should not be failing them in this way. But it costs money, right? This is the conversation we just had before about the daggum campaign. It costs. So these sobriety highs have been pretty good across the nation. The only thing that's failed them is funds, is the money to keep them going. So I'm interested in it, and I think I'll reach out to the legislator in Chesterfield just about the high school and sort of learn more and stay abreast to it, because I think that's something that we need to be aware of in our own backyard, right? Still on state level stuff, y'all. I don't know if y'all have heard the name Andrew Wheeler, but like if you haven't, welcome to Virginia. Andrew Wheeler actually was the EPA, was in charge of the EPA while our previous president was in power, and he did a lot of damage to us, making some steps forward as far as keeping our planet safe. What I've been saying, and what my daughter also said to me, there's no planet B, right? We don't get another planet, and so we definitely don't want to put ourselves in a space and place where we are not considering the future of this earth. And quite frankly, Wheeler's existence in this brand new, right? The executive branch appointed Wheeler to this brand new Office of Regulatory Management. Through an executive order. You guys know how that works, right? These executive orders where the head person in charge just says, this is what I want to happen. He created this office and said it's gonna make transparency and efficiency in the regulatory process, which means we know that it's probably going to be significant deregulation. And listen, I understand evaluating regulations, right, for whether that's for banks or that's for the environment. I understand that, but particularly when we come to the environment, there's no planet B, and when we have people directly working against that for the sake of $1, we got a problem. Nothing has been said on how much money we're going to be spending on this new office, but as we find that out, I will let you all know. So I'm putting this out there for those of you all who are heavily involved in the community of environment and environmental control, and just really keeping your eye on the ball as to what's going to happen over the next 3.5 years, because I think that we're going to be, we could possibly be a state that doesn't allow for Plan B and acts like we have a Planet B and when we don't. So that part, stay abreast. unfortunately, recently, like, I've gotten this question about the new law and being able to release families. So there was a last minute amendment, and I think we discussed this before in the budget, told you about, like, yo, we should not be legislating through the budget, just full stop, that's it, right? Like, we should not, because there's a whole legislative process. The budget is a piece of legislation that deals with our monies, and we shouldn't be putting other stuff in there. So there was a last minute amendment to the budget via the executive branch's office that blocked the planned release for this summer for like hundreds of inmates. There were so many people who thought that their family member was going to be coming home, and they're not. You know, it was really sort of a backdoor thing that caught people off guard. And we tried, and we genuinely tried to keep, you know, make sure that there were promises made, promises delivered on the side of, yeah, I think I have to check the votes, but I think some people, even on the other side of the aisle, may have gotten up and walked out and not voted on it for the sake of that. But there was an amendment that we debated, we discussed it. There's about 560 inmates who were set to be released in the first 60 days of the new program. But it affects over 8,000 inmates that were eligible for the earned sentencing credits. These credits, what they do is they allow for folks to earn the opportunity to go to programs, right, within the system, right? So like, they're earning these credits, they called it was an expanded earned sentencing credits, meaning they would be able to serve less time for doing and being who they were supposed to be within the system, and also, you know, get out, you know. This is one of those things where I think you all need to understand that people, like I said before, the young men, the picnic that I had an opportunity to go to, is that people are doing their time, they're serving their time, they're rehabilitating, or they're coming to their senses, whatever that looks like, and then they're having the opportunity to come out. If we truly believe in redemption, then we create space for that. No one does anything without incentive, and these expanding the earned sentencing credits would have earned sentence credits would have provided a much needed incentive for those folks, and also families were expecting their loved ones. This is why elections matter. This would never have happened. At the 9th hour in the budget, after the legislative process was over, this should not have happened. It should not have been a thing. But again, elections have consequences, and this is just a little part of it. Know that we are going to still be fighting for a criminal justice system that is firm but fair, that provides people the opportunity to come back whole. And we don't believe in throwing away folks because they've done time, and that matters, and that's what we do, right? That's the kind of, I am a do for you Democrat, right? Like, that's my job, is to do for you and do for people, and those are the kinds of things that we do. So keep your eye on that. Lastly, on the state level, I think you should know, if you had to pay state taxes this year, all right, did you pay taxes? Did you have to pay? Did you owe taxes? There's going to be a tax credit coming down in September. Not every taxpayer is eligible. Let me just say that. Not everybody's eligible. But if you had a tax liability last year, you could receive up to $250 if you filed individually, or $500 if you filed jointly. I will say we owed taxes, and it was almost one of those amounts. We owe taxes. Most of that is due to military retirement, right? Which is something we're still going to be having debates about, who this bill works for and operates for, the military retirement bill that only services those who typically only service those who are older veterans, not the ones we're trying to keep here. And no offense to veterans over 55, but you know, you've done your time. You probably don't have young children like many of us, or the lives that we're trying to live right now, and veterans, it exempts up to $40,000. And if you're a veteran with a $40,000 retirement, you're good. You're probably doing pretty well for you. So let's just keep it funky. So there's that. Not everybody's eligible. I'm going to say that again. But if you had a tax liability last year, meaning you owed and you filed as an individual, you can be getting $250 back, and then $500 for people that filed jointly. That's not happening until September, so keep that in mind as well. All right. All right, so we're moving along. We got about 5 minutes, so if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I know that I'm doing a lot of the debriefing, but this is, again, your opportunity to ask questions. Thank you to Vince for just keeping the comments up to date and just putting the things. We appreciate you. This is teamwork makes the dream work, because we are certified doers. So the Rosner Theater on 35th Street, headed to local news, will be the future of the team boxing site and a community hub. Interesting, right? Like, I'm gonna be quite, candid with you guys. The whole kerfuffle of moving the boxing gym, it's got people spinning their heads, just wondering what is going on, where is this happening. It's just a lot of moving parts. Hopefully this is what it is. And that whatever the affairs that need to be in order, grateful that we're not getting rid of it, right? Like, we can express the gratitude while also saying, like, where is all of this coming from? Yes, it'll be in Park Place, as they say, and more to follow. Just pay attention. When these programs, the important piece is not only that we use these programs, but that that we show up. What time do you have to be at work?
7:15. I show up early to clean up and prepare the center for the campus.
Okay. Have a good day at work.
It also gets me extra pay, so.
Have a good day at work.
You too.
So yeah. It making sure that we're back at you guys, right? Because we've got little citizens working this summer. So what I think is important here is that we pay attention, right? That we pay attention to what's going on in our own backyards, right? This is really an amazing opportunity. Thanks, Vince, for putting in that. It's in that historic theater on 35th, and as Vince said, that it's going to have a restaurant inside as well. If you could, Vince, do you mind plugging that the link to it? Plug the link. So for folks, you want to read the Wavy 10 story, the 10 on your side story that they did on this, because this isn't on our own backyard, just being aware of it, right? Good things are happening, but as I'm always, because I've done my bit of paying attention to what happens locally, that as the good things are happening, we have to make sure we're paying attention as parts shift. Oftentimes things are not, there are nefarious things happening, I believe in the sleight of hand, and that's just because I haven't built the level of trust with how we've done business in our own backyard, but I try to pay attention to all the parts. This is a good thing, but I'm always trying to look at, is there something else happening? And I'm hopeful that at some point we can build the trust in our government, that locally, state-wise, and federally, where it doesn't feel like we're being given something to not pay attention to something else. That's real. That's a real sentiment. I want to tell you, I have that too, and I'm working on making sure that I keep that at bay. Another amazing thing that's happening, I got the opportunity to go to the Nighthawks program this past Saturday. I went to Saturday. I only attended the Nighthawks program at the Huntersville Center, but look, every Friday and Saturday night from 9 to midnight, every Friday and Saturday night from 9 to midnight, you guys can go and play basketball at Huntersville, at Young's Terrace, and down in Berkeley, right? At the community centers. They're open from 9 to midnight. Now, I saw in there were some, they said 18 up. There were some younger people there, which was fine. They allowed them to play, which I think they should, but they was balling out. So I plan on, maybe not this weekend or the weekend after, putting on my sneakers and going and playing some basketball. So I hope that you guys get the opportunity to take advantage. Matter of fact, what day y'all want to go? Let's just all go together. You tell me. You drop it in the comments. What day you want? What's that? You want to go Friday night or you want to go Saturday night? They will start a league in 4 weeks. Well, 3 weeks now. They're going to start a league that'll play, I think, from 7 to 9. And then from 9 to midnight, you'll be able to just have an open gym. So let's do it. You tell me when we going, and I'll see you at the gym. How about that? All right. Shifting to national news, and that's the Norfolk Nighthawks, and thank you for putting that in the chat. Look, I am a child of I'm shifting to national news. Unless you guys have any other, if you find that there's a story or something going on that you think we need to be turning our attention to, drop it in the comments. Let us know what's going on, and we'll share. We have to all be harbingers in this work, because that's what we do. We take care of each other. We take care of people. So national news, shifting to, you know, I do not want anybody to be fooled by the headlines that'll say that it was a shooting in Chicago. It was in the north suburbs of Chicago. I think we like to lump things into that area. Highland Park, you know, it is a sad day when you're, you know, at a parade, just enjoying yourself, and, you know, someone who, again, fits the description, lights off. In Illinois, in Highland Park, when I saw Highland Park, I was shocked. But I'll tell you, I immediately jumped to some conclusions because it was Highland Park, right? Like, I'm like, well, this is targeted. This is probably someone who has, who still has the 1700 version of the Second Amendment. Actually, let me just say that that's not true, because the 1700s view on the Second Amendment was we were protecting ourselves from the government, right? Making sure that the government didn't try to take us over. That's why we had the right to bear arms, because we were in a situation where government. But yep. So without making too many assumptions, 6 people were killed, dozens were injured. They have the person of interest in custody. It is a really sad day. There were children out there. There were families out there. I saw a little clip where a family, I don't know whether it was a mom or a dad, had a baby in their arm and a baby in their hand, and as the shooting was happening, they just froze in the street. You know, these instances are creating trauma, not just for individuals, but for entire communities. And just to make a note, and I know I got 3 minutes. I started a little late. I got 3 minutes and I'll be out of your hair. But I was at an event on Thursday night with my daughter, and we got our table, and the first thing she said to me is, where at this table is a circle table? Where do we need to sit just in case there's a shooter? I want to see all the doors. And the seat that would allow us to see all the different doors in the banquet hall was taken. So she said, well, where can we sit where there's an immediate exit? And then she placed us. I mean, this is the process of my 11-year-old, and that's also a thought process that I got in the military. Like, yo, you need to be able to see the door. So it is an unfortunate place that we're in, and we've got to do something about it, right? What happened in Highland Park, what's happened in Akron, these two spectrums of gun violence, because it is. What happened to Jayland Walker is gun violence. You know what I'm saying? And people are upset, and we should be. We should have a whole ass issue with this. We should. Because it's not a game. Our nation is sick. Good morning. It's sick, and we have to understand that CPR is needed, and there's a protection of CPR, which I believe stands for our children. We have to protect our children, protect our rights, right? Living, like, I just want to be able to live. Protect, our children, our privacy, and our rights. Our children, our privacy, and our rights. And I believe that some of these things that people think are a violation of rights are, like, I have the right to live. My daughter has the right to go to school without being afraid of someone coming in and taking her classmate's life. I have the right to make decisions with my provider. I have that right to privacy. So we've got to understand that we need CPR. We got to protect CPR. Our children, our privacy, and our rights. That's where we're at. Go blue. And that's real. I'm going to close it out with saying, in just a couple stats, I don't want to put us on a dead end, that I know everything is up, right? The average monthly car payment is up to like $700. The average new car costs like $47,000. Is crazy. All of this is, we can't not take out of perspective that we have come out of a pandemic where there were shortages for everything, right? There's a lot of shortages, and those shortages drove prices up. That wasn't a Republican or a Democrat that did that. This is a global thing. Keep that in perspective, right? Coming out of this pandemic and we're still facing supply chain issues, right? We're still, infant formula was still being delivered here 2 weeks ago. It's real. It does not feel good for some of us, right? I've canceled going places because I just simply don't want to burn the gas, right? And cut back on things because it's just the right thing to do. I overstand. And what I ask of you is that as we put ourselves in a position of reconciling with the fact that the cost of things are going up, but the money that we're making is not. I think you said this to me the other day, Mr. Hodges, is that, you know, in order to keep up with the cost of inflation, everybody would need to get about an 8% raise. And I think you said that. I don't know where you got that from, but I'm going to look it up and make sure I'm, you know, not saying giving bad gouge. But what I need you all to do is understand that each generation has had to go through something like this, right? We had the Depression, we had the recession, and now we have this. We had the pandemic. But some of you still have your grandparents that are here, your parents that are here that made it through, and look at you. How do we take and hold in our hands what they learned and what they went through and try to make this better for us and our seeds? And I think it boils down to community. We've got to understand the benefit and value of community. It ain't all legislation. If somebody told you it was all legislating out, it ain't. It's not. A piece of it is, right? Because our entire lives are legislated. A whole piece of it is, but it's not the whole picture. So I ask you, in this time where it's challenging, just make your block better. Get to know your neighbor, right? You get to know your neighbor. Your quality of life in the space where you lay your head is probably what matters the most right now. Yeah, and you need to hear these birds. Drink your water. I'm going to do this too, right? Drink that water. You're a flower. You are a flower. It don't have to hurt all the time. I know paying the bills on we pay the bills on the first, the first week, the first Thursday, and the third Thursday of the month. We're paying bills, and it don't feel good. Thank you for citing that source. He just cited that. It don't feel good, but we got this, right? Like, as a community, at the very least, we can be of service and put a smile on each other's faces. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, this too shall pass. It will. We've been through it. And this is not I don't know that this is the worst of it, but here I am. I'm Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy Vet certified doer, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates 89th District. I do ask you guys to join me in this fight, and it's not just a fight. Join me and, you know, hold hands. It's about relationship building to do a better job. I have to say this because my team will beat me up. We are fundraising, so if you can donate, and I know I just talked about money. I told y'all that. Like, it breaks my heart to have to do this, but it's real, because we're really trying to do a good job for you and bring forth a programs, policy, and people that are of service to you. You can go to our website, even if it's $2. I appreciate it, because I'll tell you where they go. It'll send 22 text messages, and we're trying to keep people abreast of what's going on, right? Or 33. No, 66. 66 text messages to get good information out to people to be able to use programs, right? Like, we're helping people get their rent paid. We're helping people get their unemployment benefits. I would be remiss if I did not say this. If you received unemployment during the pandemic and you don't know whether or not you may have gotten an overage, right? They are going to start collecting the overpayments for the for unemployment. If you don't know, if you did and you don't know, reach out. They do have payment plans, but know that our office, as a state legislator office, part of our job is to liaison with you with these state level agencies. So if it can be the Employment Commission, it could be the Department of Corrections. We've helped people with that. It could be housing, right? Finding out, like, yo, you're supposed to get that rent relief. Where is it? That's a one piece of the job that we're supposed to do. So allow us to liaison with you for that. We're here for it. Okay. All right. So again, drink your water. You're a flower. Let's go water ourselves. Let's do it. Come on. I took 3 sips. Quality of life. All right. Until Thursday, I will catch you guys on the flip side. You guys try to make today a great day, right? Be well.